Just wanted to say what up and thank you for joining me for the 6th episode of Mat Mania, which is a wrestling podcast by me, Raheem Jarbo, also known as Mega Ran. So I'm going to talk about wrestling today, specifically about a legend, a man named Aurelian Smith Jr. You don't know who that is? Jake the Snake Roberts is the name you might know him by. So his movie's out now, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts, where Diamond Dallas Page gets on some Ayanla Fix My Life stuff and like goes in to literally save Jake's life, and it's real touching, man. I gotta say, I shed a few tears, but it could have just been the the air quality and the pollen out here in Arizona, cause yeah, I don't know exactly how that happened. Anyway, speaking of wrestling news, Royal Rumble's coming up, so I will also be talking about that. I have a guest. His name is Randy Cruz. He runs the Cruz Control Podcast out of New York City and has been doing that for a couple years now. Great mind, funny cat, and really knows his stuff, man. So we had a really good convo about wrestling and gave some Royal Rumble predictions. Now, in other news, speaking of wrestling, I've been playing WWE 2K16, which is the wrestling game by 2K for Xbox. I'm playing the Xbox One version. Now I'm in the My Career mode. I made my character. His name's Mega Ran. He wears like a, blue and black mostly. And has like tape on his left arm. He's a lefty, and he uses these clotheslines to kind of, do his thing. And it's kind of like Cowboy Bob Orton, how he used to have the constant, always had the cast on. So like that. So that's what I've been doing is he's kind of like a heel by nature. He's a tough dude, but he's fun to play with. I've been playing this game for 12 hours, not straight, because I have stuff to do, but 12 hours of gameplay before I finally got an NXT title shot. It's freaking ridiculous. So I'm having like 5-star classic matches against like R-Truth and like other guys, and been in this feud forever with Sami Zayn, and then another one with Finn Balor, and then another one with eventually the champion Kevin Owens, who I finally beat. Finally got the NXT title, and then I got a chance to go to the main roster. So what did I do? I immediately jumped to the main roster. And what did that do? That made me lose the freaking NXT title that I just worked for. I wish they would have told me that. Now I'm like number 10 on the Intercontinental title list, and I almost don't want to play anymore. And so I put it on Facebook, like, yeah, I finally got a title. And all my friends are responding, hold on to it because you don't get titles that often in this game. Too late. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with the show because we have a really good conversation going on about the Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts movie, as well as Royal Rumble thoughts and predictions with myself and Randy Cruz. Make sure you check out his podcast, and you can add him on Twitter at Randy J. Cruz. All right, I'm Mega Ran. Let's go. It's time for Mat Mania.
Hey everyone, this is Zenith, and I am a proud member of the Bits and Rhymes fan club on Patreon. This club, which is the brainchild of teacher, rapper, hero, Mega Ran, and his frequent music collaborator, K Murdoch, aka the Sound Samurai, pays homage to the fellas gaming and hip-hop roots, and it serves as an outlet for Ran and K to continue to create their unique brand of audio as well as occasional video content for us, the fans of those creations. Whether you dig their music projects, like their Forever Famicom series, or their weekly radio show, The Manual, there is even more content available via the fan club. From free downloads of exclusive music only available to us members, to the ability to access unique content made just for fan club members. And the cool thing is, as club membership grows, so does the amount of exclusive content we, the fans, get, including new music series, streaming video, and much more. So join me and support these incredible artists. It's the Bits and Rhymes fan club on Patreon. That's patreon.com/bitsandrhymes. And remember, you can be a player too.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Mat Mania, a high-impact special episode with another special guest. As always, I'm Mega Ran. I'm here in sunny Phoenix. It's a sunny January. It's kind of normal for Phoenix. But my guest is all the way across the U.S. in New York City. I want to bring up my special guest right now, the CEO, Mr. Randy Cruz. What's going on, bro?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing? I'm here in a sunny 40-degree weather here in New York City.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
But that's normal. That's par for the course. We were just saying, it's good that it's back to normal. You guys had some real weird, unseasonable weather for a minute, but now the snow, I think, is coming soon or something.
Yeah, man. It was 70 here in Christmas. I don't know what was going on. I was overdressed, walking outside with a T-shirt and some sweatpants, but we're back to normal, 39, 40 degrees weather. We had snow last weekend, so I think we're in for a long winter over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, Mr. Cruz, I want you to tell the people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your history with wrestling. I like to get into history a lot as a former teacher. I used to teach history, so
Okay.
kind of a history buff. So I like to go back before we go forward. So I want you to tell us who you are, and then your first experience with wrestling and your current, relationship with the product.
Well, first off, I'm a history buff just like you. I was never a math and science kind of guy in school, so when it came to history, I was all over that. I'm the host of the Cruz Control Podcast, which I do here in New York City. It's been going on for about 2 years. I talk basketball, I talk wrestling, I talk entertainment, TV, film, whatever it is. Just anything that interests me and that might interest other people out there is what I do on the podcast. And I've had NBA legend Sean Kemp and wrestling legend DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, on the show before. So it's getting up there. I appreciate anybody who's ever listened to it or downloaded it. I appreciate you tuning into it as well. I'm also the co-CEO of Hoops in the Sun Basketball, which is a streetball tournament here in New York City in the Bronx. That's been going on. That'll make 17 years this June. So we're in the middle of preparing for that. So it's a lot going on my hand right now. And to answer your question about the wrestling, the history, basically, I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I make that known and publicly now, which I don't have a problem doing that. And at one point I wasn't a fan. I think during the ruthless aggression era, I think from like 03 to 05, I wasn't in tune to it. So from like the late 80s to the end of the Attitude Era, I was all on professional wrestling. And I think the match that got me to be becoming a wrestling fan was Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior back at WrestleMania 6. So they were big time fan favorites. Yeah, good guy, main event. You had to pick a side, and I chose the Warrior. Warrior is one of my favorite of all time. He's in my top 5. And I saw that match. I was watching wrestling before that, but once I saw that match and see how the magnitude of it and how it can be, that's the match that really got me watching it on a consistent basis. And I've been a fan ever since. It's 2016, so you're looking at 25 plus years being a wrestling fan, and I can say I'm proud to be one today.
That's dope. Okay, so now that we're talking about today, let's really quick jump into this, I guess, what's this era called? The Universe era, I guess, is what we can call this. So things are a lot toned down, from the Attitude Era, and so they're finding different ways to make it work. And right now we're in a bit of a transition period. We're finding new stars. We're, going into the next generation of guys. So this year, well, now it's a new year, but in this past year, I guess I can ask, so what do you think about the product today? Like, what do you feel about it?
I think it can change a whole lot, and I think, us wrestling fans can be very picky, very detailed of what we should be seen portrayed on TV and the pay-per-views, and we're not backstage, we're not writers, we're not anything like that. So we're fans, and basically we want to see what we like. And for the past year or so, it's been different. You get very repetitive matches. There's no built-up storylines. There's no rivalries. People change from bad guy to good guy every other week. And I guess when they try to force things on you every week, the fans can get turned off by that. And even to the casual fans, they're not getting the casual fans to keep on watching every Monday night. The ratings have been slowly going down, and people always ask why. And if you look at it, Raw is 3 hours long. It's an hour too long. I think we all can agree on that. You get the same matches, the same people, and then part of it you can't really blame them because they have like 9-10 people out right now with injuries. So if they were all in the mix, you'd probably be getting something different. But I think when you live through the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG era, whatever you want to call it, you kind of see the same thing going on over and over, and you're waiting for them to try to find out what else can you do creatively that could be different. For what they're doing now with Roman Reigns is what we saw back in 97, 98 with Steve Austin. What they're doing with Roman Reigns now is what we saw 2 years ago with Daniel Bryan. And it's always the same thing being repetitive with the same people involved, Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H. So I'm going to be a fan, but at the same time, I don't want them to lose their fans because they're not giving the fans what they want on a weekly basis and the pay-per-views. And I know whatever they say goes. We're just fans. We watch. We can complain all day. But at some point, I'm really hoping that they turn it around and they give us something very different, very unique, something very creative. And like, for example, the Royal Rumble, the title is going to be defended in the Rumble match. I think that's very creative because that's never been done before. So I sat back and like, wow, okay, I can dig that. But then is who's going to win the Rumble? And then what do you do for WrestleMania? So that's the last remaining questions I have. But going into the Rumble, you defend the title against 29 other guys. You never know what's going to happen. Now you don't know who's going to win. A lot of people say Reigns. I hope not. Not saying I'm not a fan, but it just wouldn't make sense to me to have one guy be 29 and then what do you do with him after that? So to answer your question, I really hope they do some new creative things down the road. I think Roman Reigns is going to lose on Sunday and then get the belt back at WrestleMania, something like that. But then you have to think about if he loses, who's going to walk out the Rumble with the belt? Because the winner of the Rumble has to have the belt onto WrestleMania. Yeah. So you can take the belt off Reigns on Sunday. For example, they can put in Triple H in the Rumble. I think everybody has a feeling he's going to be in it. But does Triple H need to have the world title? You can take the strap off Reigns and build him and Hunter for WrestleMania, but then you have guys like Brock, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, maybe Daniel Bryan being. We have no idea. So my thing is, I wouldn't have Roman Reigns be in the Rumble and win the Rumble because on the outlook, it's like, all right, if you beat 29 of the guys, who else is going to beat
what's left for WrestleMania? Like, if you come in first and win, then it's like, what else is there to do?
Like, come on now. Like, then they're going to defend your title at Fastlane and someone's going to beat you next month. Like, I just, from a whatever standpoint, he has to lose and then get it back. that's gonna build him up, build his character up even more.
My homie Mike Burhan said on the last episode when we were talking about this is that he predicted that Reigns would lose at the end by somebody's hands that we didn't expect, who then turns out to be like an authority friend or something like that. So as time is going on, I was like, well, I thought, and I was for sure, at least for the past week or so, I was like, Brock's going to win it. And I still kind of feel that way. I think Brock's going to take it and hold the belt till Mania. But, you know, he's not full time. So how does he hold the belt that long without having, you know, title matches and things? So,
right.
So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen, man. I'm thinking, what if it's somebody like Jericho? Because Jericho's been having a lot of TV time, right? And everybody's behind him. If Jericho somehow wins and then swerves everybody, and then he's back friends with Stephanie and all that stuff is clear. I don't know. What? And then you mentioned Triple H, and I'm like, okay, because I did hear some rumors that they're working into Reigns Triple H for like Mania or something. So if they are going to do that, you're right. Like neither one of them has to have the belt to make that work. So I don't know, but honestly, I'm between Brock, Jericho, or Reigns keeping it. I think that's where I am right now. For now, but that could change.
Me, I think Triple H, Kevin Owens, or Bray Wyatt. Now, if Daniel Bryan is not in it, then that's who I'm going to go with. If they somehow put him in the Rumble, but like you said, somebody can be in there, cost Reigns the belt, but on like the you know, like he's working for the authority, and nobody would ever think Daniel Bryan is with the authority.
Yes.
Do something
that could.
In order for him to come back, in order for them to clear Daniel Bryan, we'll clear you, but you got to join us and help take the belt off Reigns. They could do something like that.
That would be dope. That would be dope. Like I would pop hard for that. I would also pop hard if Bray Wyatt won. Like I'm a big fan of his, so I could see something like that going down, and I would love it. When you think about it, he should be the favorite if he's got a whole squad basically working for him. Then he should totally be the favorite. Like who's taking out Strowman or Biff Strongman as I call him. Like dude is too big. So I don't know, man. That's interesting. I like the fact that they gave those guys kind of the last word on Raw to really kind of push them as monsters. I thought that was excellent. It's kind of been a long time coming. I feel like, you know, these guys are arguably could be the most powerful force in the WWE universe right now. So yeah, I was definitely glad to see them kind of show their dominance a little bit. So there we go. All right. So by the end, though, I'm going to ask you for your prediction on all the matches on Rumble. But for now, we'll go forward. You did say Kevin Owens, and I noticed that Kevin Owens is in like a last man standing match or something with Ambrose during that. So I wonder if both of them will still be in the Rumble, but they should be. All right. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they have to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I think Dean Ambrose. I know you can do the prediction stuff later, but I think the only way it'll make sense if Dean Ambrose retains his belt, and then Kevin Owens goes into the Rumble. Like, what kind of scenario is better than Kevin Owens losing the match earlier in the night and say, okay, I'm not Intercontinental champion, but I can still walk out of here with the world title. I think that's what you want to do.
Okay, so you're right.
That's why
that's a good point. If he loses to Ambrose, then he'll probably become my pick because they like to do those kind of swerves, you know. Like, never forget last WrestleMania, I think it was like the first or second match. It was Rollins versus Orton, and Rollins took the L, and then comes back at the end of the show and wins, you know. Same thing with Sheamus when he cashed in. It was kind of the same thing. He took an L earlier in the show and then gets the last word. So I could see that happening. That's a really good point. So my predictions will change depending on what happened in that match, probably. All right, so we went forward. Now I want to go back a little bit. We're going to talk about one of my favorites of the classic of the 80s era, Jake the Snake Roberts. This is kind of going to be like a Jake the Snake dedication episode. And Jake is arguably, to a lot of people, one of the best guys to never win a title in WWF. He's got so many great moments. So earlier this week, I asked you to think about some of his favorite or some of your favorite moments. So I'm gonna talk about some of mine, and they may cross over things like that. But I actually went back and watched an old Mid-South wrestling match where Jim Ross was not color commentary, but he was like the ring announcer, and so he's like young. I don't know. This had to be like early 80s, like before WWF. So Jim Ross is announcing a match between Jake Roberts and Shawn Michaels. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. But anyway, Shawn Michaels was like just coming up. He was still green, like looked completely different. Jake the Snake is the old veteran who's like sneaky, and like I love the fact that he was so smooth in the ring. And the fact that, you know, he was a great heel. He didn't have to yell and, blah, blah, I'm going to rip you lip from lip. But he would talk really softly, really slowly, and it would just still get that same point across. So I really loved, he was like a great heel, I thought. One of my favorite heels. So he cheats throughout the whole match, and he pretty much squashes Shawn Michaels. So I thought that was interesting. And then to see, you know, Shawn go on to be, you know, an icon. And Jake kind of mess around in the mid cards for a few years, when at that time Jake was that dude. But my favorite moment is, and it's a match that really didn't. I don't know. I guess the match was good, but it wasn't. There was nothing solved in this match, but it led to a lot of great events. There was a Saturday Night's Main Event match in November of 1986. Jake the Snake Roberts versus Randy Savage. At this time, they were both heels. And this was a really rare thing at the time to put heel versus heel together, or face versus face. Like, this didn't happen until when you mentioned the Hogan Warrior match. So this time, both of these guys come out. The crowd kind of hates both of them. Savage had the Intercontinental title, had Elizabeth. Really good action in this match. I highly recommend anybody watch it, because they take turns cheating. They do the same stuff back and forth to each other. They start out with, you know, collar elbow tie up, do some wrist locks and things. And then they both pull each other's hair. They're both like pulling tights. I mean, it was great. It was like great heat on both sides. What I thought was interesting is on the commentary was Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura, of course. And they're talking during the match thinking that the crowd is going to back Savage, when in actuality, the crowd was down with Jake. And I think that's for a couple reasons. One, I mean, even if they're both heels, I feel like people want to see the champ lose, you know, especially if he's a heel. So the crowd totally starts getting behind Jake. They're going back and forth, a lot of good shots, double axe handles, and Jake does the short arm clothesline. But every time he's about to get him for the DDT, Savage like pulls out or grabs the ropes or ducks out, and like I thought it was great. At the end, the match ends with like a no contest because both dudes shoved the ref like at different times. So the ref just gets up like, man, forget both of y'all. And what it actually did was it led to Jake turning face later on. So it was I thought a really important match, because it kind of helped Jake to kind of get up there. So I would highly recommend that. They actually had a rematch later on, and they wound up in a pretty decent feud. But I thought it was great because Jake never backed down, man. So and of course the best Savage not Steamboat, but Savage and Jake Roberts moment is probably when the Cobra bit him. I don't know if you remember that, but there's a match where he ties up Randy Savage and he pulls out the snake, and everybody's like, no, what's going on? So Jake gets like completely evil, and this is supposed to be a retired Randy Savage at the time that he had retired. Wrapped him in the ropes, puts the cobra on his arm and it bites him, and everybody's like, no, what in the world, yo. I still remember the feeling, and when I saw that, I was just like, yo, that's insane. So those are my favorite moments. They both involve my favorite wrestler, Macho Man Randy Savage, so I'm probably a little biased there. But any Jake the Snake moments come to mind for you?
Quite a few, but I want to go back on what you said about the Macho Man. The one with him being tied up with the Cobra Snake. Now, did you see the Macho Man DVD documentary that they did?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so now they interviewed Jake for that DVD, and they asked him about how that whole scenario went down with Macho Man being bitten by the snake. And it was classic Macho. It was funny, and I guess Macho Man had this fear of snakes, so he just did not want to get bitten, or nor the fact that he didn't trust Jake. He felt like the snake had like the venom in him, and Jake was like, "No, it's gonna bite you, but there's no venom in the snake. They took it out." And he's like, "Trust me, you'll be all right." So Macho Man's and his paranoia thing was like, I want the snake to bite you first and see how you react. Then I'll let the snake bite me. So Jake was like, all right, if we're going to go this far, here, the snake bit him. It did nothing. So Macho Man was like, all right, now I trust you. Now we can do this. So then that whole buildup was so hilarious, so funny and classic that Macho Man still didn't trust Jake even going into the ring that night. So somehow, some way, he thought the snake had venom. It didn't. It bit him. You saw how Macho Man reacted. And that was back, in 1992. And we're still talking about that 24 years later. I mean, that match, that whole scenario, the whole rivalry they had was just all bunched up to me as one of my favorite Jake moments because, again, going back to what you said, is his promo work, his in-ring psychology is like so over the top that he knew where to go, where to be, how to do it, how to sell, how to do the whole DDT move, which nobody can perfect that to this day. He still does the best DDTs out there. And it looks simple, but with Jake, he pushes you in here and drives you down. It makes it real. Jake makes it look too easy, and nobody else can do that. And his promo work, like Bray Wyatt reminds me of Jake from back in the day, where it's low tone, it's serious, it's that kind of talk that gets to a point where this dude might be crazy. And there's been promos with Jake, we're just talking a low voice with Gene Oakland or Gorilla Monsoon, whoever it was back in the day. He was talking a very low tone, low voice, and then you're looking like, I don't trust this guy. So I think it's not so much of a match, but I think he had great impact on the birth of the whole Austin 316 thing. And so it was the King of the Ring 96, and Jake had to beat Vader in the semis. He does that by DQ. He has busted ribs and everything. But before that, he did the promo about, God, this, and it's up in his hands. If I can get past Vader and fight Stone Cold, I'll be all right. So he cut the religious promo. And Stone Cold, earlier in the night, was fighting Mark Merrill. He got cut right here, and he had to go to the hospital to get stitches. So the story is that when Stone Cold came back, he didn't know Jake cut that promo. So he's like, I don't know what to say if I end up winning, which he did. So Jake's influence of that promo, Jake's promo in the beginning of the night, influenced Stone Cold to cut the Austin 316 promo. So the match wasn't that great. I know he gave a big time effort being hurt. Gorilla Monsoon wanted to stop the fight. He knew he was hurt. And Jake kept on going, kept going. The match lasted 5 minutes, but we all know the speech of Austin 316, but it came from Jake. I don't know if Jake even knew that was going to happen or what was going to happen later on, But I want to thank Jake Robinson for that promo, because if he don't do that, we don't get Stone Cold, we don't get Austin 316, and him being the biggest superstar in the whole company ever.
Austin 316 t-shirts.
Yeah, I hope Jake got one too.
Yo, one thing, you mentioned him cutting those religious promos and things like that. That was during his comeback. He had a couple battles with his demons, with alcohol, with drugs, and I'm really surprised that they brought that into the story. So they had a feud with Jerry Lawler, where Jerry Lawler's on commentary, just like constantly, like just going in on Jake about his addictions, you know. And I don't know, I think that may be one of the first moments, you know, that could be like a precursor to like some Attitude Era, like Vince Russo school of if it's real, then we're going to use it kind of thing, train of thought. And that might have been the first time I seen that. And I remember as a kid, like, why are they talking about him being an alcoholic? Like, you know, I just thought it was like they were just making jokes about that. But then as a grown up, you go back and you listen and like, man, he really did have real issues. So like, I'm really surprised that he was okay with that. But it was so weird to see it. Like, it was one match. Lawler's on commentary and he comes to the ring with a bottle or something. He comes up to the ringside like, "Hey Jake, here's a bottle," like shaking it in his face and things like that. And it was crazy, man. It definitely, I feel like, crossed some lines. But maybe it was good, you know, somewhat therapeutic for Jake. I don't know, to be able to see that everyone knows about it. So now you can, you know, now you know you got to address this and fix it. You know, I don't know, but maybe it worked in that way. I have no idea. But man, Jake though, the like you said, the smooth, deliberate, soft tone, the in-ring psychology. I mean, just being able to tell a story in the match, it was so smooth. Man, that DDT was just vicious. Another moment is another Saturday Night's Main Event where Jake the Snake DDT'd Ricky Steamboat on the outside, on the concrete. And when I read some interviews about this, is that Jake actually asked Steamboat, like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, because this is a bad idea." Like, because they had never really done anything like that on the concrete before. And Steamboat's like, "Nah, it's cool. I'll block it. Like, it'll be okay." And he did not block it, and he actually got legit knocked out. So Jake had to like roll him into the ring, put the snake over him, but Steamboat was like legit out. And they actually set up a really good feud, and you know, just kept Jake as that, just like that super badass heel, like that. I think he did best. I mean, it was, yeah, his face run was cool, but I think that he's definitely one of the better heels of his time, for sure. So, just about a week or so ago, I watched a movie. This movie is called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, this is a film that's currently, I think it's on iTunes right now. I think that's the main place to get it. There may be a DVD or Blu-ray available at some point. But for now, though, I would say anybody needs to go see this. Go get it however you can. It's great, man. Diamond Dallas Page, you know, DDP yoga is a big thing that we talk about and he talks about and swears by. And shoot, I'm a believer now after watching this, what he did for the lives of Jake as well as Scott Hall. So there's some other wrestlers that appear, but the main story though is just about redemption, of just bringing back, you know, Jake, so that he can not only just, you know, be a good enough wrestler or in a physical condition, but just to try to bring him back to being a person again. And you know, you can see his struggles with his demons, and he's really just trying to get his life back and his family and everybody. And man, you just really feel for him watching it, man. And you see some serious transformations in this guy. Like it's legit, man. I think, like I said, I'm a believer now when I sit and watch that and what he did for Jake as well as for Scott Hall. is great, man. You can see the emotion. I mean, there's one scene where, Jake and Dallas kind of get into it, and and Paige is like, man, I love you, bro. Like, like this is, you think I'll bring you into my house and all this stuff if I didn't care about you? And, and Jake's just like, really wants to do it. He really wants to turn it around. But you can see his struggles just, and sometimes they get the best of him. But overall, by the end, I won't give away the ending, but it's definitely there's a positive. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's amazing, man. I was always a fan, so but I think that this, especially for a guy like DDP, who was another kind of blue collar guy who's a testament to hard work, getting you over. I mean, for the guy to start wrestling so late in his life and become a superstar, that's the guy. Like, if there's anybody I think that can motivate people, it's a guy who's come from a story like him. So seeing all those ups and downs and the betrayal and the lies and all that stuff that he's going through, and it's brutally honest, and I really appreciate it. And I thought it was great, man. I might have shed a tear. I don't know if it was just the pollen in the air out in Arizona. Sometimes there's things with the air quality, but yeah, something was kind of in my eye during a couple of scenes. So overall, man, I would say this movie was amazing. And you said you got to see it twice, right?
Yeah, I saw it once. The first time I saw it was when they were doing the screenings here in Times Square in New York. And it was that time when I think DDP and Scott Hall were going to be in New York for that whole week. So the plan was they had you see the movie, they do a Q&A with DDP and Scott Hall at the end, and then you can get autographs, take pictures, buy a T-shirt. So, with me just being a wrestling fan, I never met DDP. I never met Scott Hall. I was always a fan of Razor Ramon back in the days, and I had DDP on my show a year before the movie came out, so I was already hyped to see it. And I saw it. It really took you back where you saw the wrestling highlights from the 80s and the early 90s, and then you see a guy that you was watching on TV during, while you were growing up, and he's out there struggling and needed help. And the one guy that reached out was DDP, of all people, because Jake was a big time influence on DDP during his whole career. So, I saw it. It was just, I didn't know Jake was that bad at that point. And then the whole process, the whole rise of him, getting back on Raw for old school Raw. He wanted to be in that Royal Rumble, I think, back in 2014. And then ultimately he and Scott Hall go into the Hall of Fame. So it just shows you how, if you're down, you're not out. And you have people out there that love you, that support you. And when they did that crowdfunding raising thing, I think that was a part that really had Jake like, wow, like there's a lot of people out there that really care about me, that love me and support me. And I don't think he knew that. And I know they had to raise $8,000 by a certain time frame, and they raised $7,000 in like a day or within a few hours. And I think that was the part that really got him to saying, like, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for myself and doing it for my family. So, but I saw it. I met DDP, met Scott Hall. They answered questions about WCW, about the whole film, the process, the making of it. And it also helped out Scott Hall as well. And then when I saw Scott Hall in person, it was a far different person than what was portrayed in the film. So I'm happy. I'm glad they're both on the right foot. I'm glad that they're both in the Hall of Fame. They're back in the whole wrestling family. You never know when it might pop up. I know Scott Hall is doing some stuff with NXT, which is a great thing. So all thanks to DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, for making it happen and just making us understand the road that Jake had to climb to get himself better, and also Scott Hall. So they're both alive and well. They're both healthy. and I wish him nothing but the best. So thank you, DDP, man.
Absolutely. I met DDP for a quick second at a WrestleMania after party this past year, and of course he managed to plug DDP Yoga, but he made a couple jokes, and we were talking about just the business in general and how he just loves coming out to WrestleMania and seeing everybody and all that. And one thing he did, and I wrote about it on my Instagram. It just seems so corny, but it was dope to me that I was like, yo, we should take a picture. And then one of my buddies was there. Was like, yo, all right, let's take a picture. So he pulls out his camera, and DDP's like, hey, kid, put your hand up, put your arm up. And he tells me to put my arm up so that we can like complete the diamond cutter symbol or whatever. Right. And I was like, oh, that's dope, you know. And like I turned into like a 5-year-old, like right there. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was like, oh my God, DDP, babe, you know. But yeah, man, he's a great dude, and I got like infinite respect for him, especially after seeing that. So, Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Okay, out of 4 stars, what would you give it?
4. I think a lot of people need to see it, and you know, those who are going through what Jake went through, you know, hopefully they get a chance to see it because it's very motivational. Whether you're a pro athlete, pro wrestler, entertainer, whoever it is, you know, DDP is a great guy, man. The guy's very positive. He wants to help a lot of people. He's been doing that with DDP Yoga for countless amount of years. And if he can help Jake Roberts and he can help Scott Hall, then, you know, he can help just about anybody out there. So I did want to talk to you about when you took the picture with DDP. What's funny is that in Times Square, in the movie theater, you can take the picture with both of them at the same time. So me knowing DDP has, you know, the diamond sign, and Scott Hall had the NWO sign, I'm like, I couldn't put any sign up because I had Scott Hall here and I had DDP here, and I had to take a picture like this wrapped around. So I couldn't do an NWO or diamond cutter sign. I'm like, damn, I couldn't do it. But I was just happy to see them. I spoke to them for like a few minutes. The line was crazy, so which is expected. So
absolutely,
yeah,
man. I highly recommend
really cool,
it too. I'm gonna have to give it 4 stars as well.
Film was made. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Go get it, share it with your friends, pretty because awesome. Again, it's a story that anybody can, I think, pull something from for some inspiration. And it was dope to see. I think there's a moment in it where Jake and Scott Hall are talking to each other, and Scott Hall is just like, you know, these people really love us, man. Like they want us to be well. They want us to do better, and you know, and be their heroes for them, you know. And so even if it just kind of puts it in perspective. Like sometimes you got to put yourself out of the picture. Like even if you're not loving yourself and not feeling good about yourself, you know, you got to think about the people who need you, who get inspiration from you, who get, you know, strength from watching you succeed, you know. So for that reason, I think it's definitely worth a watch for anybody. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause. You're going to hear a quick message from my sponsor. I don't really have a sponsor, so it's me. So I'll give you 1 second, and we'll be back on the flip side with Mr. Randy Cruz, and it's Mat Mania.
Hey party people, it's K Murdoch here, and I want to talk to you about something real fresh, real new that myself and Megaran are doing now, and it involves you, the fans. Myself and Megaran just launched a Patreon, a monthly way for you all to subscribe to us and what we do. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get free exclusive downloads, a guaranteed song a month, and if you pledge at the $10 level, you'll get a free project a month, whether it be something we do together, whether it's something solo, a side project that I engineer or produce. It's guaranteed exclusive for you Patreon supporters. So, If you really like what we do, then this is the time to get down and join us. We are trying to bring back that Nintendo Fun Club vibe because this is essentially a fan club for the real fans. So check it out, patreon.com/bitsandrhymes. That's patreon.com/bitsandrhymes. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you.
Jake the Snake Roberts, the match is at hand.
Well, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Here we are at WrestleMania, and it's the biggest match of your career. Why? Because everything you stand for is on the line, namely the $1 Million belt. Oh, yeah. It can be yours once again. You see, all you have to do to get it back is go through Damien and me. But you see, Damien and I don't forget. We remember all the times you made people grovel for your money. These were people far less fortunate than you. People who could use your money for essentials. And what did you do? You made fun of them. You humbled them, and you humiliated them. Well, now it's my turn. I'm going to make you beg, DiBiase. You are going to get down on your hands and knees. This time, you'll be the one that's humbled. This time, you'll be the one that's humiliated. And this time, you will be the one that grovels for the money. And how appropriate that the money you grovel for is your very own. A victim of your own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Mega Rand. We're back on Mat Mania. I'm here chilling in the place to be. And Mr. Randy Cruz, you are here. We're talking about Royal Rumble. We're talking about Jake the Snake and many other things. So make sure if you can, especially if you got the WWE Network, just go and type in Jake the Snake, watch a couple matches. You know, the dude's style is super smooth. And you brought up a really good point. I think Bray Wyatt reminds me a lot of Jake. Like he's watched a lot of tape on Jake because he's got a lot of those similar mannerisms. So you'll be able to see that if you go in there and take a look. So we're wrapping up. We're in our final segment. I want to get the absolute predictions on Royal Rumble 2016 happening this Sunday live on the WWE Network. And how much is the WWE Network?
$9.99.
Randy.
$9.99, man. $9.99. If you
For just $9.99.
$9.99.
Oh shoot. Oh man. I always like when occasionally I'm watching Raw and there's a dude in the crowd that has like a $9.99 t-shirt.
Right.
That's pretty cool. But anyway, so here we are. Royal Rumble 2016. We got a couple matches and of course the Royal Rumble match. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, Divas Championship match. Woo! So, what's your pick?
I think Charlotte. I think she's on a good path right now. Her being a heel, having Ric Flair in her corner. I think she'll have the belt until WrestleMania. My thing will be having Charlotte against Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for the title. But if they make Becky look strong in the match, where like down the road she can become champion, then that's fine by me. But I think that's the best thing going on right now. Their feud is really well written out perfectly, and I think Charlotte still has a lot more to go as far as building her heel character. And not having too much Ric Flair involved. He can take a little step back here and there. He's on Raw every single week. But I think Charlotte prevails on Sunday.
All right. I agree. That's 2 picks for Charlotte. I think that Charlotte and Sasha Banks at Mania would be dope. And it makes sense. Charlotte has the most, I don't know, I guess the heat, of course, but she has the most interest probably right now in the Divas division. So I think it benefits them to keep the belt on her and keep Ric Flair on TV every week. So next we got a U.S. Championship match. Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto. Now this will be the 3rd time these two have gone at it. Kalisto won on Raw, lost it the next day. And here we go for round 3, probably the last time that these two will go at it. So, what's your pick?
My thing is, why make Kalisto the champion to have him lose on SmackDown? That part didn't make sense to me at all. So I'm guessing Kalisto goes over on Sunday.
Wow.
I would hope so.
So I mean, yeah, to put him through all this, to be like, you're a champ, psych, here, I give it back, and then to not even get it back again it's weird. But WWE has done some strange things before. So for that reason, I pick Alberto Del Rio. I think they gave Kalisto the rub, which now makes him a legit singles guy. But I don't know if they necessarily have to put the belt on him. I think the League of Nations needs a champion in it to make the faction kind of strong. So I predict Del Rio retains. I kind of hope I'm wrong because I like Kalisto. I thought I like him a whole lot, man. I actually met him. He came to one of my shows in Orlando back when he was still in NXT, and huge fan of him as a guy and as a worker, man. And his freaking, what was that at TLC where he did the Selena Del Sol off the top of the ladder?
Yeah.
To one of the Usos. It's like my favorite wrestling moment of like the past 24 months. Like, it was ridiculous. So anyway, I'm hoping he keeps it or gets another chance to take it, but we'll see. Anyway, next match, tag team championship match. I like it that there's all title matches and then the Royal Rumble. That's dope. No wasting time. The New Day versus the Usos. New Day has been champs for over like 150 days at this point. Usos, I think, are 2-time champs as well. And what's your prediction?
I would say New Day. I think, like you said, they've been tag champions for so long, over 150 days. They're 2-time champions. I don't think right now is the time for Usos to be tag team champions. I just don't think I could be different. I'm not much of a fan of Usos as I am with New Day. The crowd reactions are much different when New Day comes out as opposed to the Usos. To me, if the New Day is going to lose or are going to lose the tag titles, it will be on a bigger stage. Not saying Rumble is not a big stage, because it is, but a big-time tag champion like that can entertain you every single weekend, I think they'll have the belts up to WrestleMania, and whoever they lose to, then that's whoever they choose. But I think New Day goes over on Sunday, because if Usos win, then what happens to New Day? Or how do you build from them going forward? You can go back and forth like they've been, with the Dudley Boys and the Usos and the Lucha Dragons for like the last 3-4 months. What else can you take New Day? But I think you have to get a more solid tag team to come in and really take the belts off of them. But Usos could win at Rumble. They could win at WrestleMania down the road. But I think New Day wins on Sunday.
All right, I think so too. For pretty much the same reason. I think like they've done Usos New Day for a while now. I don't know if there's any other tag teams that can go at them. We were talking about this last podcast, is that maybe eventually having the New Day and the Wyatts kind of cross paths might be interesting. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work. I think it might be best to keep them separate for now.
If not the Wyatts, then to have some credibility within the group, they formed a tag team within League of Nations to take the belts off of New Day. So you've seen a lot of Sheamus and Del Rio, or Del Rio and Rusev, Sheamus, Rusev, whoever it is. We haven't seen Wade Barrett fight, but he's still hurt. But if you create a tag team with that group, that can give it more, prosperity. Knowing that Del Rio might still be U.S. champion, they can also have the tag team championship. So it depends. So if New Day goes over down the road, it got to be the Wyatts or League of Nations.
Okay, that's a good point. I could see League of Nations maybe getting a tag title match at like Mania and taking it from them or something like that. I think though they got to be careful with that, because that will probably kind of turn New Day face. Not to say that they're not already getting great reactions, but I don't know. I'm not sure, though. But I do think New Day retains. I don't know if the Usos are ready yet to, or even needs to go in that direction. They're already popular with the crowd, and I don't know if necessarily a title would validate what they do, kind of like it does with the New Day. All right, next, Intercontinental title match, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. What's your pick? Last man standing match.
Dean Ambrose. Only because I feel Kevin Owens is going to win the world title after. That's my hope. That's my prediction. So don't have him win the Intercontinental title. And I mean, he could win the Intercontinental title, and Dean Ambrose later on, something in the Rumble turns heel, hopefully, or wins the Rumble. I don't think he will, but the best scenario will be Dean Ambrose winning and Kevin Owens going into the Rumble and walking out with the world title. That's what I want to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either. I do feel like they got bigger plans for Owens. I read some rumors about Owens wanting Brock Lesnar at Mania. So who knows if that goes down, that'll be dope. I do think, I think that he's got bigger plans, bigger fish to fry than the Intercontinental belt right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ambrose wins. I'm going to say, Ambrose wins it. Goes over clean, keeps the belt, and maybe I'm hoping Owens has a good showing in the Rumble, definitely. I've read some other rumors that Ambrose, they're saying, may keep the belt and feud with Jericho after this, because I don't know if you remember when Jericho first came back, I think he teamed up with Ambrose and Reigns. I think it was that Night of Champions, and then he lost them the match or something, tagged himself in, and then then lost. But anyway, so there was some slight beef there, so maybe they could rekindle that. Who knows? But pick is Dean Ambrose. I think it's safe to keep him with the belt for now, and we'll talk about the next match, which is the 30-man Royal Rumble, which is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship for the first time ever. Technically, there was a time in, 92, where the winner of the Rumble got the title match, or got the belt. Do you remember who won that one?
Ric Flair.
Woo! Ric Flair. Correct. All right, so who's your pick in the Royal Rumble?
If Triple H is not in the Rumble,
okay,
I would say it will come down to Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt. I don't see Reigns winning. I think it's too easy just to have Brock win it. You can create better television with Brock Lesnar trying to get the world title back, because he never lost the world title back at WrestleMania 31. He never got pinned.
Right.
So just that story alone, he wants to get it back, but he has to go through the Royal Rumble. He gets eliminated by somebody, and he has to fight that person later on to get a title match. So there's a lot of different ways you can work with Brock. That don't mean put him in the Rumble and he has to win the whole thing. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, I'm happy, because I'm a big-time Brock Lesnar fan. But if you want to create something interesting, something that a fan may be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. If Triple H is not in it, you go with Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt. If they try to swerve you with Triple H being in it, or a surprise guest, like I mentioned to you before, Daniel Bryan, now it gets more interesting. I don't think Triple H needs to have the belt, but if he has the belt, I'm not that upset. But Kevin Owens, not many people would think Kevin Owens would win it, only because the other people that are currently in it. If you have Brock in it, people are gonna go Brock. So a Bray Wyatt winning would be tremendous, because I'm a big Bray Wyatt fan, and he's never had any titles in the company yet. He's had many feuds. He lost to John Cena, Undertaker, Roman Reigns. He had he did beat Daniel Bryan back at Rumble 2014. He beat Jericho, but he's never been a tag champion. He's never been Intercontinental champion. He's never been world champion.
Yeah.
He's been in one Money in the Bank match. It's dude, what else does Bray Wyatt have to do to get some kind of title match or get some kind of title. So if he wins, that'll flip everything upside down because nobody would think Bray Wyatt would win. So to answer your question, I think Kevin, Bray, and if Hunter is in it, then I'll go with Triple H.
Wow. Can you just imagine, like, the last 4 people in would be, like, all Wyatt family, and then they all just eliminate themselves, and then Bray wins or something crazy. Like, yo, that would be insane. Oh, man, that would be so dope. But I don't know, man. Jeez, there's a lot of intangibles only because the unpredictability of the Rumble, like you just don't know who's going to come out. So I do think if Triple H shows up, he's winning. I do think that. Otherwise, my pick is Brock. But I would love to see like a Daniel Bryan. I'd love to see like an AJ Styles pop up and just win out of nowhere, something crazy like that. I don't think that would happen, but yeah, I would love to see Bray win it. So there's a lot of things that could happen. Again, I still feel like Triple H, Brock, or Jericho. I don't know why I feel like Jericho could be a wild card, but we shall see. But if I had to pick one person, like an absolute one pick, I'm gonna say Triple H. And if he's not there, then obviously I'm wrong. But if it's not Triple H, I think Brock Lesnar.
But if Triple H is in it, he can just cause Roman Reigns the belt. He don't have to win the whole thing.
That's true, because all they need to do is just to create that story, just to So he doesn't have to win it. That's true. He just needs to be the guy to take out Reigns, or something like that. It's a good point. I don't know. But I think Triple H would get instant heat, though. Like, to be a dude, like, say he comes out at 30. You know what I mean? Triple H comes out at 30. That's instant heat. Like, you haven't done anything for the past 2 months. Like, what have you done to earn this? You know what I mean? So I think that it would be dope to create that kind of story because it's instant heat. Almost to the point of like the ruthless aggression era where like Triple H is in charge and just like cheating his way everywhere. But like, I think the heat that he could generate by doing that would be awesome. I think it's still weird. Side note that that the not the McMahons, but I guess the Helmsleys are even a part of the storyline so much, and so they're playing characters on TV on Raw that are bad guys. But at the same time, Triple H is the brainchild of NXT and a good guy when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird to me, the whole thing. I don't know. You ever find that weird where it's like Triple H is cool? Yeah, because he's giving all these guys opportunities and then he goes on Raw and he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, I still think it's kind of weird having him playing a character, him and kind of Stephanie. Like, I feel like it's a little bit weird. It sends mixed signals because, like, 1 minute they're doing charity work and taking, Instagram photos with, Make-A-Wish Foundation kids, and then they're on TV just like being like evil. So it's weird in a way, but I don't know. You find that weird at all?
A little bit, but I think that's the era that we live in. Everything is not closed in no more. Everything is like kayfabe is dead and stuff like that. So you can be on Raw on a Monday being a bad guy, but then on Tuesday, you can do Make-A-Wish Foundation. You can do Be a Star, bully campaign stuff. And that's just how it is. Everybody knows, people say it's not real, but they just know it's scripted. It's television. It's just a soap opera. So what you see on TV may not be what is portrayed in real life. Like the time where Triple H did a promo, he was a bad guy, authority, and there was a kid in the front row. He started crying. And then afterwards, Hunter turned to the real life Hunter Hearst Helmsley and, consoled the kid, give him, backstage passes and everything, letting the kid know, like, I'm just a character on TV. We all play characters on TV. So that was Paul Levesque coming to him saying, "Kid, don't worry about it. It's cool. I'm just a character." And the same thing goes for Stephanie. So she can slap Roman Reigns all she wants in the ring, but then Wednesday she's doing good things for the company, and same thing for Hunter for NXT. So I mean, real quick, it'll be so heel of Triple H that 30 people come out. And you're thinking it's over. All 30 are out, and then the clock starts going off again. Like, oh no, we're gonna have 31. A 31st entry come in, and then boom, out comes Triple H, and he does whatever he has to do. So that'll be so heel of authority. They can do whatever they want. They can add 31 participants, 32, however it takes to have Roman Reigns not be the world champion. So they can get creative like that. There's so many ways they can do it. My thing is just don't be, basic with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to a great Rumble. Whatever happens, just be creative. Give us something that we can be like, oh wow, like I wasn't expecting that. You read the rumors all week, all month, what's gonna happen, who's gonna be in it, who might show up, and just shock us for once in a while. Just do that, and then we'll take a step back and be, you know what, y'all finally did your job. So we'll see what happens on Sunday.
That would be cool. I love to be shocked, so I'm totally down with that. Well, let's hope it's exciting. That's all I really want. I just want to be surprised at some point. So exactly. I hope it happens. All right. I think that is it. But as usual, I asked my guests to pick a song. So, Mr. Cruz, I need you to give me a song to take us out on, a hip-hop and wrestling crossover, if you will.
Well, me being a big Wale fan, he does a lot of songs that, incorporates hip-hop in the world of professional wrestling. And he actually has something new, brand new out called Absolutely Perfect. And him and Smoke DZA did a rap on the Mr. Perfect beat. And, Perfect is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time. And if you have that in the queue, you can go ahead. But I think that's the song that's got to be played today, man.
Perfect. All right. Absolutely perfect. There we go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, we're going to run that. So this is Smoke DZA and Wale, Absolutely Perfect. For myself and Mr. Randy Cruz, this is Mat Mania. Thank you so much for joining. I can't let you go, though, without letting people know how to get in touch with you. What's the Twitter handles and the sites and all that good stuff?
You can follow me on Twitter at Randy J. Cruz, Rendy, the letter J, Cruz. My podcast is on SoundCloud, iTunes. It's called Cruz Control. Thank you for supporting me. I greatly appreciate you inviting me on the show. I've never done the Google Hangout before, so this is my first time doing this. I'm getting used to it with the little thing in the corner and everything. So this was a great experience. I love talking wrestling. And again, thank you for the invite, and love to have you on my show sometime down the road, man. Yeah,
I would love that. All right, thanks so much for agreeing to do this and us making it happen and trying new stuff with the Google Hangout.
That's right.
All right, so we'll catch y'all down the road. This is the end of another Mat Mania episode. Make sure you catch the Rumble, and I'll be back. Subscribe on iTunes, give it 1 million stars, and tell a friend. This is Mat Mania. I'm Mega Ran. I'm out. Peace.
Right. Kush God, bitch. For Lauren. Dope Boys and Ralph Lauren. Perfection is key. Arrogant smirk, kill him effortlessly. Run through your stable, I'm ready and able to foreign object tuck the ref couldn't see. Not a squad of lock last with the gods. Every move that's made, we leave them in awe. Whole applause, I'm heen and scheming, I'm the genius with bars. Perfect combo, no denying the aura. You can turn your head, but you can't ignore it. Stating the facts, this OG is killer, that Larry's an axe. Pick any sport and I pick them apart. Pick any hustle, I flip and evolve. Whatever's the purpose. Now homie, that's perfect. Now homie, that's perfect.
Now homie, that's perfect.
Nobody's beating me.
I have no flaws, I have no blemishes. But if you really stop and think about it, what would you expect from Mr. Perfect?
Yeah, they'll never compete. I'm willing and ready, whatever to be. Shout out to Kurt Hennig, I'm lexicon legend, perform perfect flex with greatest of ease. Overselling, still I hold my division. Throw a towel behind my shoulder and kill it. They not no contenders. The gun at you, nigga. Yeah, I'm cocky for really. My cousin in prison, I pray for his vision. Now wait. Came out the city, but stayed with the cell. Party dangerous, really. Ain't trying to be famous for really. I'm just trying to give your lady the feeling. I'm just trying to give my baby a crib. I'm just trying to make my stable $1 million. Yeah, Dizzle for Lauren, Telly and arm, pushing the horses, fuck it. Don't play with them cars, one black, one white, like Gable and Jordan, boy. Don't play with the squad, you come off the roast and then diss it, hip tossing. I ain't talking about no flip to the mat. I'm talking bullets, missile kicking you back. Shout out Phillip Brooks, she with G on my butt, light one for CM, AJ in the back, now smoke. Perfect. Light one for CM, AJ in the back, now smoke.
Take a minute out and think for yourself what it would be like to go through life absolutely perfect, with no flaws, no blemishes. Every single thing you do is absolutely perfect.
Hello, viewers. I'm sorry. Hello, listeners. What's going on out there? This is Mega Ran, and as you may know, you are listening to Mat Mania. This isn't just any Mat Mania. This is a special Mat Mania that is on location. I'm in Dallas. I literally just came back from WrestleMania. My voice is pretty shot, but I'm really excited about bringing you the reaction podcast of WrestleMania 32 from Dallas. I didn't just give you my reaction. I didn't just give you one special guest reaction. I walked around the AT&T Stadium with my homie T-Call, and we actually interviewed real people just fresh off the moment and asked them their impressions of Mania. So I talked to some different people from different walks of life, different places, different countries, males and females. And I got a wide range of opinions, from greatest Mania ever to terrible Mania and all kinds of stuff. Me personally, I gave it a C. I say that, and I'll say why mostly in this podcast. Within my talks with people, I wound up telling you why. But overall, I just felt like these stories did not progress effectively, and or they didn't end effectively. There was just a lot of build-up into nothing really changing. So I don't know. I was really disappointed, but I feel like wrestling events shouldn't be fan service. But at the same time, I just don't feel like the results and the potential for making these results more interesting was not, I don't feel like it was fully taken advantage of. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I gave it a C, maybe even a C minus if you keep playing with me. If I keep thinking about it, if I watch it again, it might be even worse. Nah, I don't know. But being there definitely knocks it up a few notches. I popped like a mug when all the different appearances happened, but I won't spoil too much if you've seen it. And we're going to talk about it a lot. I got at least 30 minutes of crowd reaction stuff. So this is real people live on the street, son, interviewing me and T-Call. So of course you can go always catch us on Twitter. I'm at Megaran. He's at Teak_Hall. And I appreciate you guys for listening as always. Quick tour dates and thank yous. I want to thank WrestleCon for being amazing and hosting us. We sat next to some real cool people. We were next to Ricochet. On the other side was Chris Hero. Right behind us was RVD. It was amazing. You'll see my pictures go up on Instagram, which is Random Beats. And it was pretty amazing. Absolutely. I was in a sandwich with One Man Gang and RVD, and I thought that was so dope. One Man Gang, y'all don't know nothing about him unless you remember the old UWF days. But real quick, I'm not sure when my next podcast will be, even though I've recorded a bunch of episodes, so I'm not sure. But I just want to give you tour dates so you can go out and go get them. If you go to megaran.com/shows, you will see that I have spots on the Morning Glory Tour with Sadistic, and we are going out real soon. They're already out, actually, so if you are in the Southwest or Southeast, make sure you catch them. Will be with Weird Science, Upgrade, Early Adopted, and of course Sadistic. April 10, Metro Gallery. April 12, Kung Fu Necktie, Philly. April 13, Stanhope House, Stanhope, New Jersey. April 15, Flashback Lounge, Watertown, New York. April 16, not with those guys, will be in Ithaca, New York at Cornell. April 17 at the Space with Chesky, and that's in Hamden, Connecticut. All right, there'll be more to come. Right after that is PAX East. There's a Syracuse show as well. So I'll be telling you much more about that real soon. Thank you guys so much. I want to shout out my lovely wife, Rachel, for being so understanding of me always being on the road. Got to thank Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, for showing us love as usual. And I want to thank you for being an amazing group of people who listen to these shows. So I'm going to end it with a track with me, T-Call, and Collateral from their Vader vs. Foley record called Are You Ready? And if you are ready, we go into the streets.
Hey, what's going on? This is Megan Rand. We're on live on location in front of AT&T Stadium, Dallas, Texas. Just set an attendance record, 101,000 for WrestleMania 32. The show was interesting. We're getting some mixed reviews. Real quick, I gave the show a C. I'll go into more detail later, but I did give it a C. But right now, it's not about me, because I'll do my reaction later. It's about people on the street. I found an Average Joe. What's your name, Average Joe?
Brian from Boston.
Brian from Boston. So, Brian, you doing good?
We're doing good, man.
Okay, did you enjoy the show?
Overall, yeah. Lesnar and Ambrose.
Hold on, before you say that, because I wanted you to do it a certain way. Let me ask you. Tell us what your high point of the night was, and tell us what your low point of the night was.
High point of the night was, I'm going to go with the New Day match. I thought that was very entertaining. The whole The Rock and HBK coming out after, I thought that was very entertaining.
That was cool. That was cool.
It was
huge.
Fun.
Like seeing
they
Foley,
fun with that.
seeing HBK.
They got the crowd in it. They got the legends in it. The letdown was absolutely Ambrose and Reigns. It was quick. It was slow. Nothing happened.
Ambrose and Brock Lesnar, you mean?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Ambrose and Brock Lesnar.
Okay, let's real quick. It was advertised as a street fight. They did not probably leave the ring, I don't think, for more than a second. And the match was probably maybe 10 minutes, if I'm being generous. It might have maybe been 10 minutes.
Hold on. And the fact that Brock kept breaking weapons in half.
Yeah, he didn't
when
use
weapons
any
were supposed to be used.
And then it ends after 1 F5. Usually, people kick out at least out of 1 F5.
Yeah, he gave him one. He gave him one. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, bro. You also from Boston?
Yep.
We're just recording people's reactions to Mania. Do you mind if I just ask you? Oh, you dropped some money, bro. You mind if I quickly ask you how you felt about Mania?
Yeah.
All right, what did you think?
It was pretty exciting. My first WrestleMania was pretty badass. Yeah.
I popped a lot, but what's the moment where you popped the loudest? Where you just went nuts?
Oh, when The Rock came out. Okay. The Rock and Cena actually made, HBK. They brought a lot of good people back. So.
Quick question: Did you sing John Cena sucks when he came down?
Yes, I did.
And you're from Boston, both of you, right?
I didn't say it.
Hold on, now let me ask
you. You're both Massachusetts folks.
So we were talking about this when we were inside WrestleMania. Do you like John Cena?
Yeah, I like him as a guy.
Okay. So is just saying John Cena sucks just the thing to do? Because
it's not. Doesn't mean you think he sucks. It's just what you do.
Right? I stopped watching wrestling when John Cena started wrestling, and now I just recently got back into it. And I don't have a problem with John Cena nowadays. When he came out, I got excited. But I still saying John Cena sucks.
Yeah, we jumped up so that we could sing John Cena sucks. Bring him new music, give him a new thing, it might work out.
Bringing it back, Shane O'Mac.
Shane
O'Mac,
man,
jumping off the Hell in a
Much
Cell.
respect to Shane for doing that. I heard he got like some legit injuries.
Yeah, good for Shane O'Mac. I wish he would have won, but the fact that we got to see Shane O'Mac, you can't.
That was great. That was great.
Beat that.
So my complaint about that match is that nothing changes now. Like they did 2 months of build up. Oh, you're gonna get control of Raw. You're gonna get these secrets out. Nothing changes.
Yeah. So
Undertaker wins again.
Where do they go from here?
Where do you go?
That's the question I want to ask you guys. Are you excited to see Raw tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or did WrestleMania let you down to the
They're
point?
Bring up something really big tomorrow.
Okay.
They got to bring something big. They're probably gonna start the show with Vince and maybe do something.
Seth Rollins is going to come back
Seth's coming?
and challenge Reigns for SummerSlam.
Good idea.
That's what I'm thinking.
I hope so.
Reigns and Rollins at SummerSlam.
I've been hoping for a Reigns Dean Ambrose feud myself.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna save that to next Mania.
Yeah, next Mania.
Next Mania.
John Cena versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, I believe you on that. I think
Another retirement gimmick.
every time it's gonna be, if you don't win, you're finished.
You're fired.
Fired.
Good Vince impression. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for chatting, man. Oh, did you get your food? Did you order? Oh, you just got a drink.
You guys, peace.
All right, y'all. Take care. All right. So we got 2 reactions from 2 ordinary guys about Mania, and they kind of felt like how we felt. And I'm going to find another. And while I do that, I'm going to eat some of these badass fries. Let me tell you what's in them real quick. Badass fries contain French fries, shredded brisket, 4-cheese Mexican-style blend, bacon, jalapeno, chipotle aioli, and jalapeno cream. Fatty goodness. All right. And then I'm going to start my diet. Promise.
Yeah, lovely.
All right. Can we talk about real quick? What's your name?
Dan. I'm Dan. I'm from the UK.
Okay. It's called Mat Mania. Where are you from?
From the UK, from Leeds, England.
From Leeds.
Yeah.
All right. That is Sherlock Holmes' favorite city in the UK. Get it? Because it's Leeds, like he's a detective. That was terrible. All right.
Dreadful.
But anyway, all right. Overall, WrestleMania thoughts. What did you think?
I really loved it. I probably in the minority. I could tell the crowd were not happy, especially during the main event. But I really enjoyed it.
You absolutely were.
There was just so many exceptional moments. You had Austin coming back. You had Foley. You had Shawn Michaels, DDP, and I know that speaks volumes for the current product is if we're so excited about the older guys.
That's
but
exactly what I was about to say.
But that's what made the show. As a one-off show, best ever. What it does for tomorrow night, very little.
Very little. Like it didn't do much for storyline progression, but for the you know.
Let me question this guy. I really want to get this
Ah, that's a good point. What's your name, sir, and where you from?
Enzo from Doncaster in England.
Enzo, like Enzo and Big Cats.
Yeah, not as good looking.
But not as good looking. How you doing?
I was talking to this guy off the mic, and he said that he's been to 2 WrestleManias. Which ones
Including
did you say?
this one.
Okay,
Including
which
this
one?
one.
The other
This is
one?
my
28
second as
in
well.
Miami.
So he said he's been to 28. And what did you say about this WrestleMania today?
For me, when you told me you gave a C+ rating, this one here for me is probably the best WrestleMania I've been to.
Well, you only been to 2, so
Right,
okay.
I've been to 2, but I've seen all of them. So
All right, so this is the best one.
So
Absolutely.
high point, low point of tonight.
Okay, high point of tonight, I think it was the whole the old school factor. You had Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley come in, The Rock came, Shaq implements Snoop Dogg, you know. And I think the low point, in no disrespect, because it did end quite well. And again, like you said, it doesn't give much for next week and the future, but the final match, Triple H and Roman Reigns, I think Roman Reigns didn't get much of an opportunity to do anything.
So hold on, so you're telling me that was a bigger letdown for you than Dean Ambrose and Brock's 5-minute fake street fight?
He didn't need to do anything on Dean Ambrose. He just had to take the punishment and stand up and laugh in his face, and he did.
That's all you want Dean Ambrose
That's
to
a
do?
good point.
So Dean Ambrose is the new Mick Foley to you, right?
Not
he
yet.
just gets beat up and take the punishment and...
Not yet. But that's what he had to do. He had to take some hits, take some punishment, take some F5s, take some suplexes, and keep fighting back.
And still smiling.
And that's what people
Shane
expected.
did the same thing, though.
Shane did too.
In Undertaker's face like 5 times, you said, come on, man, give me more.
Bring it. I'm really impressed with Shane. That was, I guess, my highlight, seeing him hop off that cage. Like, oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Nuts.
There's one instance, it was hilarious. We just sat down and I said, look, he's going to climb up. And he said, he's not.
You didn't think
He's
he was
gonna
like
climb up.
I was like, he's not going to do it. The cage is too high. It's higher than in Foley's day.
Said he wasn't climbing
I was like, there's no way. And
When
then,
he broke it open, I thought he was going to go up.
and then when he went up a little bit, I was like, he'll just jump off halfway up. Like Shawn did when Shawn did a more of a controlled fall back in '97. Then when he got up to the very top, I was like, oh my god, he's going to die.
Dude, I thought he was
And
going
he
to die.
broke 3 ribs.
Yeah, really.
Dude, that's what I heard, so I don't know.
It's already been announced.
Oh, man. I hope.
man.
Jeez, that guy's
He's
crazy.
got some guts though, and also to be fair, Steph took that spear like a trooper.
Oh, yeah.
She
She
did.
took it like a
She
champ.
took that
She
spear.
went down quicker than, let's not say on the...
Oh,
What I enjoy about that spear is that they finally got Roman over with it. He was getting booed the whole match until he
I think that's the
Stephanie.
one move that got a
Because
pop.
everybody
I
hates
think that's
Stephanie.
why as well.
That's why it happened. They were like, "Oh, we hate Stephanie." So if they ever were you expecting any like
Stephanie.
any Any swerves or turns today?
Yeah, I was really hoping for a Roman heel turn. Tomorrow night, just run. I wanted the Austin Brett double turn. I wanted Trips to turn full on face, get the NXT guys behind him, or maybe the Balor Club tomorrow.
I haven't heard that one yet. That's a good one.
Yeah,
If Triple H brings up the Balor Club tomorrow, and Roman comes out and says, "Man, you fans were never behind me. Screw you guys." The double turn.
I did this on my own.
Double turn could happen.
Ask you if you've heard this of the Samoan stable storyline.
No.
Roman Reigns turning heel, getting the Usos and Samoa Joe.
Starting a Samoan Dynasty stable.
Against the Balor Club, that would be freaking awesome.
That would be great. But see, I think we're thinking about it way more than these guys are thinking about it. They're like,
hire us.
Just give them a match, and they'll keep coming back. You know.
But no, a really cracking show. Enjoyed it. Yeah.
I give it a C. Honestly, I felt like this is my third Mania. I saw, which one was in 2009? That was Shawn Michaels' last match in Phoenix against Taker.
That was a good show.
And then I saw last year's, which Seth Rollins made it all worth it.
Yeah.
You know, at the end. And this one, it just left a lot to be desired for me. But like you said, the best parts were the old guys coming back. You know.
And got genuine high pops as well.
I was really upset that there's no story progression, but I think Raw is where everything's gonna.
And I thought I was gonna be excited.
We can
for the
start
Divas
fresh.
Match, and during the new women's title match,
Hey, that's good looking.
Sasha screwed up that bank statement a few times. I was like,
It seemed a little. Maybe they were nervous. Maybe it was a little sloppy. But it's a huge stage. But I'm excited. What do you think about that? With them giving them a women's title and
I think it's great. I mean,
time for that?
Again, it's one of those things of fans that have hated that butterfly belt for so long. They've hated everything it represents. It's
kind of like a toy. I tell them all the time, like it looks like a girl's toy. Like,
it's kind of ironic that Brie Bella got such a good send off tonight, because she's, for me, both of those Bellas have been the epitome of divas as opposed to women wrestlers.
Yeah,
and yet
that was kind of the beginning of the divas.
Yeah,
thing.
and now they're leaving. Everyone's got to write rose-tinted glasses for those two. But those two have been terrible for years. I mean, they really have.
That women's title looks sexy, though.
Yeah, hopefully it's
real good.
I would buy that.
I got excited straight away.
I was like, this is awesome.
I want it for me. That's for me.
Well, they've got the replica in the shop right now.
They have them in the shop right now. Right on the truck. I'd actually think about. They were quick with that. They announced it at the pre-show, and they have them on the truck for sale.
Yeah.
See, they don't miss $1, man.
Wait, they have what on for sale?
That new women's belt. That's what he said.
Yeah, but the ladder match was amazing. That was a great start.
Oh, that was a great way to start. I don't know.
What a great ending. So well booked.
Great start. I'm super happy for Zach. Like,
One more
I
question.
thought that was
I know
awesome.
you guys want to go get some food. We didn't talk about this. Did you guys watch the pre-show?
Yes.
Did you like the pre-show?
Yeah.
Were you here for it, or are you watching on TV?
Yeah.
Ryback and Kalisto, y'all think that was a good match?
It got us warmed up. Okay. That's all I'll say.
It gave me time to set my Wi-Fi up, get my Twitter on board, take some photographs.
I'll never watch it again, but it was what it was.
We weren't here yet, but we were watching it on TV, and we said we felt like it was disrespectful to the U.S. title to the first match in a pre-show.
Yeah.
After John Cena held that
disappointed.
title and defended it every night.
And made great matches happen. Like, yeah.
Well, they lose interest quickly, don't they? That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much. All right. So, thank you guys so much. So, let's lastly give it a grade. A to F. Give it a grade. What do you think overall of Mania?
We're on a road trip.
For the night, A.
A.
For the night.
Good stuff. You are very generous, sir. Thank you. They are nicer in the UK.
I'm not sure about that, but thank you.
Really?
Thanks for coming out.
Lastly, your vote for the show, your grade for the show, A through F.
Oh, definitely. I think B+.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, that's not bad. You can't argue with the B+. So they set a record of attendance, and they pleased the fans. I guess there's not much else you can ask for. So we'll see what happens overall. But thank you guys so much for your time. My hands are all full. I'll give you an elbow. My show's called Mat Mania, so you guys can check it out online. It'll be on iTunes, yeah.
We'll be in touch.
All right, guys. Take care. Enjoy your time out.
Hold on. I got something
All right.
for you guys.
I'm going to...
Yeah, some stickers.
It was smart. I didn't even bring any stickers.
That's my Instagram.
I'm going to eat some of my fries, so I'm going to have to hand off my phone.
Okay.
All right. I got to hand off the phone so I can eat a little bit. So, Teak, you can hold this and
Sure thing.
give us some... Oh, shoot. I got no free hands.
I know. Hold it for a second. Let me pick these stickers
All right, no problem. Okay, so again, we're still outside of beautiful AT&T Stadium. We watched most of it on the big screen, but that was cool.
Okay.
We're in our nosebleeds. People are walking out with their commemorative chairs.
I know what I wanna do now. We gotta get a female.
Sitting on Roman Reigns' face for the rest of the show.
It's not video, it's just audio. We've got some guys, but we haven't got any girls with pink yet. You sure?
You don't mind? They're just going to ask you what you thought of the show. She's very nervous. All right. Okay, Teak, handle it. I'm going to eat.
All right, it's Teak Hall out here getting fan reactions for WrestleMania. Hi, what's your name?
Jessica.
Oh, okay, Jessica. So, did you enjoy WrestleMania tonight?
Yes.
Okay. What was your high point of the night and your low point of the night match-wise?
Well, the low point was the main event. I just didn't like all the boos.
Oh, so you're a Roman fan?
Yes, I am.
Anyone but you, Roman. Anyone but you.
No woman, that's why.
Yeah, man. He's definitely a ladies' man. So what was your high point?
Probably when Zack Ryder won and
oh man, and nobody's
Baron
talked
Corbin.
About that.
Yeah.
Those are good moments of the match that nobody's talked about.
You were for him all the time. I felt really good.
Zack Ryder, we hope you're a fighting champion.
I felt good. Like, his story is so dope. Like, for him to come back up, I was really excited. Like, I'm glad he got a moment. I'm really glad he got
all these people behind him just woo, woo.
Like, yeah, he was so over.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the fact that he was over. No one was like, who's this guy? What's happening? You know?
Yeah, the whole time I was like, man, I want Dolph Ziggler to win, though. I'm a Dolph fan. I feel like they job him out all the time and don't give him his shine. But I mean, let's hope this Ryder guy is a fighting champion. That's all I hope. I don't want to see somebody hold the belt and not. You know.
Drop it tomorrow. Don't.
So, officially, what would you give your grade tonight, as far as like an ABC, you know, of what WrestleMania got for you?
I guess A-.
A-,
yeah.
Big grades. What about you, sir?
I was gonna say the same thing. The women's match that stole the show.
Yeah.
It stole the show.
What awesome. Nice segue off that. How do you feel about the women's title? Do you think that it was time for that to get rid of that Divas piece of shit belt and give them an actual title?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was a toy, right? Did you think it was a toy, the Divas title?
I don't know. It's the butterfly, just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want my daughter growing up with a Divas title, a women's title. I said I'll buy that for her immediately. Thanks for your time.
For me.
Yeah. He said he wants one for him.
I would buy it. I see your shirt says Cult of Kayfabe. Is this like a website or something you run?
Wrestling group.
There's a wrestling group on Facebook. Shout them out. How do you find them?
And I think they have podcasts
on Facebook.
also.
Facebook page is cultofkayfabe.com and
with a K.
Yeah, with a K and KOK. And there's about 23,000 people on there. So yeah,
we're huge wrestling fans, so we're gonna go check it out and join it
right now.
Make sure you tell them to add us.
Right.
And my last question, I think, for you guys was going to be: are you excited for Raw tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that they're going to give any closure to tonight? Because I feel like a lot of things got left open story-wise.
Yeah.
Y'all think Triple H is going to punish Roman Reigns tomorrow, make him fight like 80 people for sparing Stephanie?
Yeah, they're going to go from there, but I really just hope he starts getting other people to go up against him for the title. And Triple H is taking a little bit more time behind, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens. They got to throw other people in him. I really would have want Bray Wyatt to be in there.
Bray.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes, Bray Wyatt. We had somebody bring him up. I feel like I was so hyped for him to come out because he wasn't announced for tonight. I was mad I didn't have on my Wyatt Brothers shirt because I fucking love these guys. And then I felt like they did what they always do, which is hype him up and then let somebody stump all over these guys.
Before, it used to be like, you just listen to everything he says, and now it's like, what are you talking about now? You're going to lose. Who are you going to lose to next?
Right. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
You're gonna lose. It's so bad. They do him so dirty.
Okay, so we're out here with Cult of Kayfabe. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great night. Get some food.
Yeah, we were.
Word up. All right. Want to grab another lady?
Sure. Hi, excuse me. We're with a podcast and we're getting fans' reactions to WrestleMania. You guys want to give your thoughts?
Of course.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Alex, and this is Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Alex.
Okay, my name is Teak Hall, and this is Mega Ran. We're with Mat Mania. So, what did you guys think of WrestleMania tonight?
I think it was a good Mania. I don't think it was the best Mania. It didn't have any like classic matches like 25 or 26 or any older Manias, 19 or whatever. But it was a really good Mania considering how many injuries and how many changes have gone in the company in the past few months.
I can feel that there are a lot of people injured that they would have had wrestling tonight. What were your thoughts on it?
You know, I thought that it was a really good Mania. I'm pretty new to wrestling. I mean, I think the hardest part was the crowd. I feel like the crowd was very tough tonight.
Are you a Roman Reigns fan?
I love Roman.
Are you a Roman Reigns fan?
I am a Roman Reigns fan as well.
Okay.
Oh,
anyone but you, Roman?
I used to hate
Again, anyone but you.
Wait, you used to hate him? Like
yeah,
with the Shield? Or?
No, I used to, well, yeah, I never liked the Shield. That was one thing.
What brought you over to his side?
What brought me over to his side is kind of like, I see it as I've always been like critiqued in my life in high school and college, etc. People have always put me down, so I kind of relate in that sense, you know.
Of all the crowd and everybody putting Roman down, acting like
no,
he's not good enough.
He's not Shawn Michaels, he's not Chris Jericho, he's not Nakamura,
Right.
but he goes out there every night. He takes his bumps, he runs the ropes, he puts his body on the line for us, and he's doing what's given to him. You know, it's not like these guys can go out there and shoot promo every night and whatnot. Wow. And I mean, he's got the look.
Well, he does have the look, but I feel like the mistake is the company's because he's a company guy and they're giving him the push when he's not ready. They need to work on his mic skills a little bit more. Let him work on these promos behind the scenes so that when he goes out, he's not talking for 5 minutes and the fans are booing him. I feel like what he's talking about, the fans probably feel like it's kind of boring.
I think it's a lack of guys right now. Like, you really think, who's going to replace him? Yeah, like, everybody loves Sami Zayn or whatever. But you put him next to Triple H, and it's like...
No, Sami Zayn's not ready for that yet.
It's not credible.
He's going to be Intercontinental.
It's not credible.
Going for that, not world title.
And, you know, you put Nakamura in front of him, and if you know his history, then it is credible. But for somebody who's never watched the product, they're like, what's this weirdo Japanese
people who
guy?
didn't know AJ Styles when he showed up, you know.
But, you know, first match, everybody just... They were like, what the hell? What were we missing?
Right.
But
I don't feel like I get that when I watch Roman Reigns. I don't feel like I get what am I missing. I feel like I could be missing this right now.
I think Roman's problem is he needs an expanded set list as well. He's a little bit predictable.
No, yes, please talk about these moves. Talk about these moves. How many Superman punches can you watch in one match?
Really? And I used to tell her, like, I think the Superman punch is kind of ridiculous. I read up about it. It's actually an old school wrestling move. I read the wiki on it. It's actually supposed to be really traditional. But
yeah, but I mean, that would be like somebody coming back and doing Hogan's like big boot and leg drop.
Yeah.
If they're kicking out of F5, somebody's going to kick out of a leg drop.
That's a real issue. He doesn't have a finisher, and he has so much strength and the look and like. And
when I see like 6 people surrounding you and you're just tossing out Superman punches left and right, I'm like, oh, okay, this is boring. I don't care to see that. And it's happened. I saw the League of Nations like try to get on the ring. He's like, oh, Superman punch. It's like, okay.
But he actually did like 1 or 2 reversals tonight. So maybe that
he did a couple.
Maybe that progression is going in there, especially especially wrestling top guys. You know, you have to learn when you're in the ring with those guys. If you don't learn, you're gone. And
I don't know. I feel like he's kind of the chosen one. So even whether he's getting it or not, I feel like he's still going to continue to get the push. And you can't let the inmates run the asylum, like let the fans, just because they boo him, be like, okay, well, let's change the plan because the fans boo. You can't do that.
They're always going to be unhappy.
Yeah, you can't please everybody. And if he tries to make this business just to please fans, you know, it'll be AJ Styles in every match, probably. That's really what people want.
When you said the chosen one, you brought up a valid point. Star Wars prequels, everyone hates Anakin. No one likes Anakin. He was the chosen one. He becomes Darth Vader. Everybody.
That's why we all want to see Roman Reigns go heel. I want to see him go heel.
How would you feel about a Roman heel turn?
No, I'd love it. I mean, I'd go out there. If it were me, I'd be like, you guys can't do what I do. I'm not the best, but you guys can't do what I do. And Triple H does the same thing that he would do. But the thing is that how can you believe Triple H saying those things when the next night he's on NXT saying all these feel-good, lovey-dovey things and
it is weird.
Hugging people?
I think the reality era has kind of made it tough for these guys. Because we were talking about, I was like, well, what if Stephanie turns on Triple H, you know, like she did maybe back in the day, and because maybe, you know, because he let Roman spear her or something. And he's like, nah, they're on TV together every day, and, you know,
and
because
they're
of
married
that.
In real life, so I'm like, because it's blending with real life and entertainment. Yeah, so you couldn't see them break up on TV and then they'd be together in real life. It wouldn't be believable. Let me ask you guys this. What was your high point and low point tonight as far as WrestleMania goes?
I'm not sure about a low point. I feel like the Divas didn't really get a chance to shine because I think it was kind of a letdown for Charlotte to win. I like Charlotte.
Did you want Sasha Banks to win?
I wanted Becky to win.
Becky?
I love Becky.
I like
She's
Becky.
a sweetheart.
But I thought that Sasha Banks was going to win. She had such a huge interest. I was like, damn, did she already win?
She's so over. That she was over. Like, they did a poll online, and she was over Daniel Bryan. She was over Sami Zayn. She was over all the internet guys. Yeah, it was like, I forget, it was like WrestleZone or something. They did like a little survey poll, and like 44% voted for Sasha. It was...
That's insane. What was your high point?
I think a surprising high point was the promo given by Bray Wyatt. I think that he spoke very well. I've never been a big fan of Bray.
Because I was going to ask, you just said that you love Roman Reigns, so you like both?
No. But I think that
but you're coming over to the side of the buzzards?
He can talk so well.
He can talk all day long.
Man, like a preacher.
They just got to not let him get squashed after he talks.
That was very sad. And it was weird.
You know he's injured, though.
Well, somebody tweeted me and said, The Rock versus Bray at SummerSlam. What would you think if that happened?
It would go along with what I was saying. Like, The Rock can take a little time off movies and wrestle a little bit and get somebody over. I feel like if The Rock isn't going to be a full-time wrestler and they used him to put Bray Wyatt over, it would be good.
Somebody's got to put him over. It seems like the current guys won't.
They're just putting him down. What was your high point and low point tonight?
My low point, I definitely have to agree with her on Charlotte. But my low point, and I'm an NXT fan. I love NXT.
You got a portable charger, huh?
Yeah. I love NXT.
I'll throw your tray away.
We started watching NXT right about July, and pretty much every guy in there is on top.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced by Baron Corbin. I like big guys. I like guys with long hair, obviously.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed something. Did you say Baron Corbin?
Baron Corbin, he said he's not on top.
That was my low point. Because I really
think it's sad because Shaq came out and everything. Like, that was a major
Shaq came out. It was a good look.
I really
to be in the ring with Shaq.
I really thought they were going to give Mark Henry his
send-off in Texas.
I heard a lot about that.
I thought maybe getting a send-off in Texas would have been cool. But I don't know. They pretend that these battle royals are for the guy to, elevate. I mean, it was Cesaro, and that didn't go anywhere. Big Show, and
That's just sad. I think it's so disrespectful how they treat Big Show.
I feel so bad about Big Show. When he came out, I was like, are you supposed to cheer him now, or do you boo him? Like, what's going on with Big Show right now? You don't know. You've turned so much. So, I don't know. But, the older guys, we were saying that, like, maybe this was a passing of the torch, with Mark Henry, Kane, Big Show in that match, and all getting eliminated.
These guys are getting old. I mean, they keep on tempting that the Undertaker's going to retire. I feel like he should have retired like 5 matches ago.
Wow. Yeah, it might be time
Rock
almost.
should have put him out. Then I felt like Bray Wyatt should have put him out, especially because they were building him up as the new face of fear, like to take out the legend.
Yeah. It would have been great.
Your torch, man.
If you let Randy Orton kill the legends, why don't you let Bray, get one of them?
I think it's sad because I think if the Undertaker was going to retire, it should have been Shawn Michaels back in the day.
That's the match that got her.
That was my
That's the first Mania I went to.
She used to say wrestling is barbaric and wrestling is dumb.
Really? That was
the
first one I
and
went
I
to.
told
It was
her,
in Phoenix.
watch this match. And after she watched 25, she was like, okay.
That was it. You were in.
Like, that convinced
Such a great match.
What I'm talking about is like they let Brock in the streak. And then what did it get anybody?
There's no point.
Like, when you do stuff like that, like, oh, you're building this streak up for what? To let Brock beat him for nothing?
Especially because he was reading an interview with Brock, and he doesn't even really care about...
He doesn't even care.
No, he doesn't.
It's just the paycheck, and that's just sad, because those guys, that's their life. That's their religion.
They bust their ass and kill themselves for it. But back to your Baron Corbin thing. Were you saying that you're not a Baron Corbin guy?
I'm not a Baron Corbin guy.
Like he's, and I watched Breaking Ground, and he's like the longest NXT guy who had been around forever and was waiting for that call up and just never getting in and watching all of his guys go up. So I thought that was a cool moment for him to have. But do you feel like he just can't? He's not going to cut it in the big leagues?
I don't think so, because NXT will put anything over. NXT will have 2 guys in a ring doing a simple headlock, and they'll be like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "It's just a headlock."
Yeah. So they.
And
don't
if he
go
can't
crazy
really get
for
over
Baron.
with them, what's he gonna do with this crowd?
Yeah.
Lesnar Rock crowd. You got to have something to.
Yeah, you need something exciting. So what's he missing? What's Baron missing?
I think he's missing promo ability, because his promos are a little stiff, and he's missing that impact. He's the same size as Big Cass roughly, but when I look at Big Cass, I'm like, damn, that guy is huge.
Big,
And when I look at Baron Corbin, I'm like,
Baron Corbin even looks bigger on the game, on 2K16 than he looks in real life. Like when he was like that Baron.
And we know games are realistic.
And
You know, I mean, I thought seeing him in the ring, I thought he looked pretty big, but yeah, he doesn't necessarily fight big. You know what I mean? Like act like a big guy all the time.
I mean, I think it was really cool because, like, I mean, I'm not a big Baron Corbin fan, but like his reaction to winning, he seemed legitimately
was really into
touched
it.
by that. Like,
And that got me a little bit.
Probably has come up to the WWE from NXT, and I mean anybody's going to be excited about that.
Definitely.
Even like you were saying about what's his name, Zack Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Him.
His story was awesome coming up.
He came up, he got injured, had to go back down. Now he's back up again. So to see him win a title, once I heard that story about him, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's legit.
I got to
I'm
root
happy
for
that
him
he
now.
won it.
You know, I mean, I love Owens. That's my guy. But he doesn't need a belt to fight Sami Zayn anytime, and I'll be okay with that. So, but you're coming around to Owens. You're not an Owens guy?
We are. Like, I didn't like him at first, but...
What won me over whenever he actually showed a lot of compassion for Neville, like, that broke my heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love Neville. And he really did. He went out with, like, he really showed some compassion.
Like, that really started to win me over, and ever since then, he's just, like, he's toned down the I'm too good for this Seth Rollins thing.
Nah, yeah.
Because he was kind of playing that card for a while, and I wasn't a big Seth Rollins fan.
Well, you know, I like Owens outside the ring. Like, if you follow him on social media accounts, Twitter and stuff like that, you see, like, he's funny, he's entertaining.
Yeah, I saw the video of the six-pack.
Yeah. And when they're writing a story for him, like when there was him running away from people with the title and not wanting to fight, that was turning me off of him. But we have to remember as fans, somebody writes these stories. I'm sure he wants to be a fighting champion, but they wanted him to be a heel, so they're like, if we make you run from people, then people won't like you.
That was the Seth Rollins issue I had, where he had to cheat to win and be the chicken shit heel every time. And I'm like, let him fight. And he beat Sting absolutely clean in Sting's last match. And I was like, well, okay. You know. So that was so sad. It was so sad.
So what was your guys' final grade for WrestleMania tonight?
Graded.
Numerical or letter?
Letter.
Letter B.
Solid B. I gave it a C only because I felt like there wasn't enough story progression, but maybe Raw will tie that stuff up. But, like, I don't know, overall. But what's your grade?
I agree with the C. Like, I feel like, I mean, I've only ever been to one other show, which was a SmackDown, which that was...
Same here.
It was supposed to be a really big deal because The Rock was there, and I was just like, okay.
It was just a Rock
wasn't a big deal.
It was bad. I was not feeling it. But
SmackDown, there's nothing really big happens usually. It's the B show, so Raw is usually the one to go to. But
are you excited for Raw tomorrow?
Don't know if we're gonna get in.
I wasn't talking about going.
Well,
to
just
Raw,
to see it, you know.
Are you excited for Raw to see if there's any sort of progression, any closure?
Raw after Mania is always big, so we got to have some debuts because you got to start new stories. This is where everything begins again.
Divas or more superstars.
More women's wrestlers. I don't know what you call them.
Joshi, whatever you wanna. Luchadoras, you know.
Right. So who would you like to see? Any females you think are ready to come up? Asuka. She just won the title. I don't know if that happens.
I know.
Have her be two champions. Like Jericho, like when Jericho came in and he took both the belts.
He did take both the belts.
Have her do that.
But Kevin Owens had to relinquish the belt before he came to.
No, he didn't. He came up.
He had it one night.
And then went back and lost. He came up as a champion. Okay. And I'm hoping Finn Balor does the same thing. I don't know if it will happen, but I want him to, like, what if he just, like, threw the NXT belt in the trash or something? And just, like, Balor Club, bitches, you know?
Oh, yeah, like, I've been all over the world. This is
nothing. I don't want this crap.
But that would be so sad for Samoa Joe. I mean, that's been
It would be, because Joe's been, he's been trying to chase it.
Cut the eye totally ruined the match.
I heard that ruined the match. I didn't get to watch it yet, but Samoa Joe got an early cut in their match against Finn Balor.
I thought it was blading at first, but now
they had to keep stopping it to, like, dry him off.
Really, he was bleeding out like that?
It was bad.
It was really
over
bad.
his eye, like they headbutt.
Like it was like maybe like a lockup, and they hit him with a headbutt or something.
And ever since then, it's just they were constantly
so they had to
pulling
keep
him aside.
stop it and dry him up, and man,
that was heartbreaking.
It was a shame that had to happen. I saw
we got into talking about NXT, and we were supposed to be talking about WrestleMania.
I know.
What did you guys think about the Nakamura?
Sami Zayn match.
Mind blowing. He's amazing.
Fight forever.
Pretty much.
That was so good.
I'd watch him wrestle a broomstick, honestly.
We watched the guy wrestle
a dummy. Kota Ibushi at Kaiju Big Battle.
Oh, so that's kind of like the DDT stuff where they got the Undertaker blow up doll and.
Yeah, he's wrestled blow up dolls and all that.
The dog wrestles the ladder and.
Oh, so good.
This guy made what happened? Didn't you say he got suplexed and like?
He got power driven by a dummy, and like It was so good. But anyway, all right, so thank you so much. I don't want to hold you guys up. It's getting chilly. But thank you so much for your thoughts. I hope to see you at Raw because we're trying to get into it as well.
AX Revolution on Twitter. I want to hear the podcast.
AX Revolution?
AX Revolution.
All right. We'll find you on the Twitters. This show is called Mat Mania. We will tag you in it. Thank you so much.
Social media information on it. You guys can follow so that you can find out where to find the Mat Mania because I always retweet it.
And for the record, there's a third person in this group right now. There's a lady who hasn't said anything. So just to test my theory, who's your favorite wrestler?
I'm right now between Triple H and Roman Reigns.
I thought you were going to say Roman Reigns, but you're wearing a Triple H shirt. So
I've always been a fangirl of Triple H, so that's the only reason I came here.
Yeah?
So
you weren't too happy about the outcome.
Build-up when it was like Triple H beating the shit out of Roman beating the shit out of Triple H?
I was kind of rooting for Roman Reigns because I've seen Triple
Roman
H.
needs it more than Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H is 14th time already.
14th time.
But guess what? This is his 12th fucking WrestleMania loss.
Really?
Yeah, remember I told you those?
12 losses.
Triple H has lost 12 times at WrestleMania. As big as he is, he always loses at the biggest stage.
Wow. Well, you know he did. He put Reigns over. Like this is what he was supposed to do.
That's what he always does. He's a setup guy.
He was supposed to do that.
And
it's a credible match. I mean, it looked good. It wasn't, a 5-star match.
It wasn't 5-star.
It looked good.
It did. I mean, it was
the
decent.
roadblock match against Dean Ambrose was better though.
Well,
I agree. That was a great match.
But they fed Dean to Brock tonight. So.
Oh, let's not talk about that. That was my disappointing moment of the night.
I tell the guys.
I was like, wait, it's over?
I wasn't even in my seat yet. I saw Roman, not Roman.
I tell him, so you want
Like I wasn't
Roman
even done. You weren't even in your seat
Who are you
yet.
going to replace him with? Now that Dean, you shit on him with Brock Lesnar,
Well, what I think, or what I'm hoping is that we get a Roman Reigns heel turn, Dean Ambrose feud.
I feel like maybe for next year's Mania.
Is the biggest baby face. Like, the crowd hates Roman, but they cheer the shit out of Dean Ambrose. They've already played with it when they were like the triple threat match when Dean Ambrose acted like he was going to give him the dirty deeds, and it's like, oh yeah, Roman, watch your back, like I'm coming for you.
But you've noticed they haven't had both of them in the ring together.
Well,
because they know the
Roman was
difference
gone
in the
for,
cheers.
Like, some weeks, you know?
Woo. But they know the difference in the cheers and boos. So having them in the ring together is just bad for Roman. I feel like, I don't know if you noticed, because I was watching the big screen, Roman seemed like he was getting kind of affected by the boos tonight. What do you think?
I mean, I'm sure it was, he's there for his family, he's there for the people. I mean, I'm sure that hurts him. I mean, not everybody can be John Cena and embrace it. But
I feel
tough.
like it was looking like the heel turn was coming, though, because he was in the ring, he kept
showed a
looking at the
little
crowd, he was sticking his tongue out, he was
out.
like, yeah, like, it was almost never believed in me, you didn't want me to be champion, I did it all by myself.
I did it myself,
so,
Screw you guys.
Screw you guys.
It's just so weird because he was so big in WrestleMania last year.
And he actually looked good. I thought he looked good against Brock
Maybe he needs
during
to
that
get a
match.
program with Jericho. He can learn the heel work from him, expand his repertoire.
That's a good point.
Do you think that if he never lost against Sheamus, that he would be any better right now? Do you think that feud brought him even further down?
I think
he was getting embarrassed by Sheamus.
I think it's a mixed sword because people kind of grew sour on Sheamus, so they were like, yeah. As long as you're beating the crap out of Sheamus, we love you, Roman.
Right, because we hate Sheamus. He sucks, so beat him up. But don't touch anybody else. It's kind of weird. Because, who else can you... All right, who would you like to see? Last question. Who would you like to see Roman feud with for the title next? Like, let's just say, main event of the next pay-per-view. What would you like for it to be? Roman versus...
I'd love to see him beat the crap out of Sami Zayn, but that's just me.
Ooh! I don't know if Sammy's ready, but...
No, he's definitely not ready.
He's not ready. Wow. Okay, Roman versus...
John Cena.
Are we putting John Cena back in the title?
Wow. That could easily happen. Cena's always in the title picture. Roman Reigns versus...
Samoa Joe.
Woo!
So you're calling up Samoa
I would love to see that.
Blood.
Just bleed and fight hard. I would love to see that.
Two Samoans just headbutting each other.
So we've been talking about all day that there are talks of this Samoan stable that's supposed to be built with Roman Reigns.
Well, there's rumors
Samoa Joe and the Usos.
If Roman turns heel, it would be cool to start a heel stable. We're talking about a Samoan stable where he brings up Joe and then he has the Usos.
That would be very interesting since we saw a rumor about Cody Rhodes, Tyler Breeze, and the Perfect 10? Was that what it was?
Really?
Yeah.
Another stable rumor.
Twitter with both of them all three of them posing in front of a green screen, and they say it's gonna be like pretty perfect and.
Yeah, I heard something about that too, but I thought that Dolph was supposed to be a part of it because I did hear something about that. Unless they're swapping him out for somebody else.
Well, I mean, we need more tag teams. I mean,
you need more tag teams, definitely.
League of Nations forever.
Man, we were talking about it, and they also can't fight. Like I said, who did I say? It's Braun Strowman and Luke Harper are one of the Wyatts.
I don't think they can fight the Wyatts,
but they can't fight them because of the size difference. It would just be off. But we don't have enough tag teams in the division anymore.
Jordan and Gable, Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, they need to bring them up.
Enzo and Cass need to be up ASAP. I went to a WWE house show and they were on it, so I was like, "Come on, it's happening!"
And I would watch.
And they were
Enzo
so good at
Cass
Roadblock
against the Wyatts just because Cass is so big and like.
They need the tag teams. They really do.
Big people like the Undertaker and Kane.
Enzo could go with Bray because they're both got.
I think Enzo can go with Bray.
And they're both weird guys. You know, they both kind of got that. You know.
That'll be fun. But if I see New Day and Usos again, I'm gonna like throw something at the TV. Like I don't need to see that anymore.
Unbelievable.
But you know what? I was talking to somebody else about that one thing,
here, by the way.
and they said that no, actually, I said when they were beefing with the Lucha Dragons and the Usos, the New Day actually got bigger than what the WWE thought they were going to, and then they kind of just quietly moved them out of that beef. If anybody noticed, it was like they were fighting all the time, and then it was like, hey, we're going to put you guys against the League of Nations, and
let's move on. Yeah, that's. I think the League of Nations could be amazing. Like if
when
they would just
show them being like friends, I'm like, oh, they're so cute. I like them. I want to hang out with them.
I want them to all be just menaces and win a bunch of belts.
That's
like I would love to see that.
them.
They all just look like
If they all got belts, I would be like, yes, let's do it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is the American crowds. You know, they're always going to be a little racist.
Oh yeah,
you're never going to see.
That's why they.
But
do
they'll
it.
always
That's
have
why-
heat.
that's why the League
They'll
of
have heat
Nations work
forever.
together because they're heels to make the Americans mad that these people.
That's
from
the
other
oldest
countries
wrestling gimmick
have
there
the
is. You
belts.
know, boo the foreigner. You know,
Yeah.
so
I theorize that if Roman was white, maybe he'd get over more.
oh, we're about to take it there.
We're gonna post that on Twitter and see what happens.
If
I wanna know
Roman was
Roman
white, would he get over
Would
me?
he get over?
Yes, he did. His name was Bill Goldberg. Oh!
The thing is that if you look at Brock, he's very similar. They can't cut promos. Their moveset is limited. Their booking is messed up.
Hey, but that's something that we talked about Roman. If he had somebody to talk for him, do you think that he would do better? Because Brock does not talk. He has somebody to do the talking for him.
Maybe.
If Roman just came out and beat ass, a la Shield days, and had somebody talking for him, would he be more of a powerhouse?
I don't know.
Think about it.
Wow, if he was white. Wow. Okay. Anyway, we got to go. Our ride is here, but thank you guys so much. We're like literally the last people standing. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you at Raw. Take care. I'm freezing. All right. This is Mega Ran, Mat Mania. I will tag you in this. Thank you, guys. All right. I'm gone. All right. As we walk into our ride, I'll resume later and give my final thoughts. But overall, man, what a disappointing Mania to me. Like last year was better. Year before was better. I feel like they were all better. Like this is just this one was pretty cheeks to me.
Hey, Mega Ran.
And I was there. Usually being there like hypes it and gives it higher ratings for me, but not today. We about to walk into a dead end.
It kind of shows though what we feel and what the fans feel though, because we've got a lot of good fan reaction tonight from Mania. Are we getting jaded? Are we becoming too involved in the wrestling scene that we're like,
that's a good question.
That we're not enjoying it like everyone else is?
I just talked to Links Kinetic about that. I said, I think I'm too invested, and so now I'm expecting too much.
Right.
I need to just fall back and enjoy it.
As far as the
Which
Dean
means I would have
Ambrose-
to end my podcast, but I don't want to
As
do
far
that.
as Dean
But-
Ambrose goes, they made us expect a lot of that match, and they didn't deliver.
No, they didn't. They hyped that up for 2 months. Like that was hyped forever.
That's not us not being.
I would have been happy if we got to a 2 count and the Wyatts broke in and just double disqualified everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would have been okay with that more so than like an 8-minute match that never leaves the ring. Like maybe somebody got hurt, and if they did, then I'm gonna have to retract all this and be like, oh, never mind. But
I mean,
I was disappointed.
Dean Ambrose is built up to be the unbreakable man, and I mean, he took a F5 on some chairs, and that was the end.
Well, he took 13 suplexes, or maybe 15. I don't know.
It was 13, I think.
He took a good amount, and it was over. But I did not expect it to go that fast. Shane McMahon kicked out of a what's that power bomb called?
The last ride.
Last ride and a choke slam on stairs. Come on now. So Shane's tougher now. than Dean Ambrose. I'll believe that.
Overall, I give it a C. I'm agreeing with Megaran on that C. I'm excited.
But you might be right. It might be time to step back a little bit and be a fan and enjoy it and not be such a, analytical ass about it.
Can I hold it while you walk?
All right. I think our ride is here. I do want to try to reach him.
Okay.
So probably should
I just wanted to give my final thoughts on it real quick. I'm going to say I'm going to give a C. I'm looking forward to Raw. I'm hoping that it's going to be some story progression, some new stories started, and just some closure on the whole Roman Reigns Triple H situation. Even though Stephanie got speared, I feel like Raw is going to be the end of that. I feel like they're going to set Roman up one more time to fight someone. And hopefully he loses the title again. But maybe they're going to let him live with it for a little bit. I can't think of who I would want him to feud with at this moment because he already feuded with Bray Wyatt. And I want Bray Wyatt to have the title.
So what's the next pay-per-view? I don't even remember. But it's probably going to be a rematch with Triple H.
Okay, he's saying it's going to be a rematch with Triple H. I guess we're going to close on that. Let's hope Seth Rollins comes back before the pay-per-view and maybe we get a Roman Reigns Seth Rollins feud because Seth Rollins is pissed that he never lost and had to just give the belt up. So now he's after Roman Reigns for it.
All right, well, that is the end, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mega Ran, that's Teak Hall. This is Mania Reactions live on the set. We live out here, son, from enemy territory, Cowboys.
Running through Dallas
field. And I have to end it this way because I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm standing on Dallas Cowboys ground.
Wait, oh no.
I'm going to say E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! All right, peace.
Vader versus Foley. I tell him I'm more ready than I ever been. Locker room saying no F with him. Hook that leg after every pin. High off weed and lots of gin. I'm the bad guy. That's why I'm kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing. Elbow drop coming from the ceiling like a savage with that madness. Tell Vince McMahon I done had it. I'm patched up like a captain. I'm leading my way on this flagship. Off the top rope with that backflip. I'm agile, you average. I heard your match has been slacking. The fans deserve some action. They sent me in to live it up. Vader versus Foley, we live as fuck. Use a steel chair, I don't care. I won't give this title up.
But I just gotta know one thing. Are you ready?
Mega Ran. Yeah. Say hello to the muscle buster. Most of you rappers are truffle butter. I press slam you, then uppercut ya. Nerds to the geeks, to the thugs and hustlers. You know the type. I'm over like the top row of teeth on an overbite. And y'all wanna beef? Show you right. You know the outcome, like when Hogan fight. Big bootleg drop. Y'all know they hurt fools. Out late, we don't need curfews. Make a lateral and Teak Hall. 2 out of 3 falls. Defend titles on 3 bird rules. House of hardcore came to make way. Cruz should make way. We do this a day. Ain't no kayfabe. My rhymes like Skyline with chili up. We doing it 8 ways. Filthy till it kills me. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And if you ready for real, then say it with me. Yeah.
Linda, Vince, Shane, and Stephanie. And tell DX they can't F with me. I'm like Big Show with this big flow. I had to tell him I don't even need a referee. Vader with some Foley is the recipe. Mega Ran hit him with a rain flush. Hunter Hearst hit him with the pedigree. John Cena wanna get his brain crushed. Let a man need to get the title belt. Kona, Hawaii's the recipes crushed. Said I make waves like Michael Phelps. Conan, then I see I'm cheaping too much. Fade away feeling like Michael Phelps. Stay shining like I'm Shawn Michaels belt. Tell him go ahead and ring the final bell. I stay rhyming like a diamond to the Michael Mel.
Hey party people, it's K Murdoch here, and I want to talk to you about something real fresh, real new that myself and Mega Ran are doing now, and it involves you, the fans. Myself and Mega Ran just launched a Patreon, a monthly way for you all to subscribe to us and what we do. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get free exclusive downloads, a guaranteed song a month, and if you pledge at the $10 level, you'll get a free project a month, whether it be something we do together, whether it's something solo, a side project that I engineer or produce, it's guaranteed exclusive for you Patreon supporters. So, If you really like what we do, then this is the time to get down and join us. We are trying to bring back that Nintendo Fun Club vibe because this is essentially a fan club for the real fans. So check it out, patreon.com/bitsandrhymes. That's patreon.com/bitsandrhymes.